G'day folks, Tony again here for more Star Control 2. Okie dokie. So let's have a look at the star map here. The Mycon moving their way away towards their presumed inevitable destruction. And we are going to have to try a little bit of fancy footwork here because one of the things that the Melnorm told us about was a star, which I believe is up here, Arcturus, which is, I think, where the Belvixes were located, and there's a thingamajig there for us. And hopefully along the way we're going to be able to trade some fuel. I'm hoping that is a large star. It doesn't quite look... I don't know, maybe it's a blue colour. Anyway, we might bump into some fuel dramas. But if we have 10 fuel left, I guess we can still just use that in order to summon the quasi-space portal and get back home. Anyway, I'm waffling somewhat. Let's set our course there, and off and away we'll go, and we'll see how we fare. Just a little bit of advance warning, dear viewers. I have something of a chest cold at the moment, so I'm going to attempt to keep the coughing and spluttering to a bare minimum, but if I sound a little bit croaky or wheezy, it's not your imagination, and I do thank you for your patience. So flying up the eastern or right-hand side of the map here, not really an area where we have explored very much or done a lot of things. There is an awful lot of empty space up this way, and I don't really know what's going to be there. Although from just having had a look at the star map, this general area does seem to be fairly empty in terms of the stars themselves. So presumably there aren't going to be a lot of folk up here claiming it as their territory or flying around hyperspace, making things difficult for us. It also occurs to me that we haven't really seen very many Slylandro probes for a while, so maybe they're thinning out, or maybe we're just not in the right part of the galaxy to be able to see them. Alright, so this is the system. I'm not quite sure where exactly we're supposed to be going, but we will do the tried and true technique of investigating all the things until we find something notable. Vinylogous world. Oh, that's a mouthful. Not really sure that's what we're looking for. Looks pretty dull and uninteresting to me, so let's leave Planet 8 sitting there where it is. Pardon me. And try to find something a tad more interesting. Looks like there is a planet in very close to the sun there. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what we're looking for. Just a single moon gas giant here. Come on, treasure world. Or you could be the useless one. That's fine. It's not like I am in urgent need of a ton of cash. We have reasonably full set of cargo here, and because we've started preferencing only the creme de la creme, the more expensive materials, I trust that there will be enough resource units there that we can restock at least our Earthling cruisers. A water world. Maybe some Kevin Costners and Dennis Hoppers floating around down here. Possibly not. There is a very bright red dot there, so let's head on down and see if it is a radioactive that's worth picking up, or perhaps it's... Yes, it is. One of the other colours, it isn't worth it, but that should, I think, be 8 resource units per unit. Units per unit. I'm in fine form this evening. I think there was another one over this way. Yes, indeed. Oh, a nice purple one too. Perhaps brimming with goodness, or perhaps just an utter dud. A pellucid world. Ooh, Not an utter dud. It has one singular exotic material on it. Definitely take that. Thank you very kindly. Delicious. Kind of a dainty retrieval operation that we're in the middle of here. Zipping down and picking up limited amounts of stuff. So we've got two blues, a purple and a green in very close there by the looks of it. I wouldn't be surprised if that inner planet is the one that we're looking for. That generally tends to be the way these things go. Lots of blue stuff. What is blue? Is blue worth our time or is blue not worth our time? Nobles, yeah, not really. We're going for greens or above, so we might leave those be. Sorry about that, Planet 5. In earlier times, you would have been a veritable bounty of materials for us, but alas, in this latest stage of the game, not really cutting the mustard. Perhaps Planet 2 will be different. What do you have for us, Planet 2? A chondrite world. Full of not very good. Well, not every planet can be a bonanza. I think if this Let's Play is teaching us anything, it's that space is real big and mostly empty. And at some points of time, maybe just a tiny little bit boring. But that's okay. Right, so as expected, nothing happening here. And oh boy, if I've misrememberated and we've gone to the wrong solar system, that would be embarrassing. For me, I mean, not for you. What have we got here? Okay, what should we go for? The dull, lifeless, boring-looking moon? Yes, why not? A Selenic world, also with not a lot going on. Aha, but an energy reading. Oh, and some biology as well. How splendid. Let's just remind ourselves which one it was again. That one. So we'll land fairly nearby. Seeing as we're down here, oh, they're all moving awfully fast, aren't they? Let's grab this thing first. Report from surface. We have found an immensely powerful hyperwave transmitter here on the surface of this moon. It is sending a strong hyperwave signal outward into the unexplored anti-spinward region of the galaxy. Since this equipment is extremely valuable, and we have found no sign of any intelligent life on this moon, we have decided to disassemble the transmitter and bring it back to the ship. End of report. Good times, so we're going to zip back up again. Let's get back down there. So that we can try. Oh boy, it's the incredibly aggressive, betentacled nightmares. Although on the plus side, when we do shoot them, they do tend to come right for us, sort of, or not. Which in some ways does make them easier to shoot. Oh boy, they're taking an awful lot of shots to take down, and also killer bees apparently. Splendid. In some ways, it is nice to have them be so aggressive. All you got to do is just get that one single shot on them, and then they come charging at you. Sometimes not even that. And it seems that it's going to be more than a single load of stuff. So I'm imagining this is going to be worth a whole bunch of fuel for us, which is good because we're certainly going to need it with only 52 fuel left. And currently being stuck on the opposite side of the map from Sol. And also, not to put too fine a point on it, from the next part of our objective, which is to go and finally, at long last, sort out the Ilrath drama. You recall that Dogar and Kazon, the gods of the Ilrath, were being impersonated by a force or forces unknown. And I believe now that we have this device, we're going to be able to intervene in that particular little set of shenanigans. And I believe that will be setting the Ilrath off on another course, which is going to take, whoa, look out, Redux World with a ton of energy readings on it. And some biology as well. What a bonanza. So yes, it's going to set things out on a, goodness me, on a different course that's going to clear up another problem for us, and is going to allow us to progress further through the story. Report from surface. These ruins seem to be the remnants of a civilization which called itself the Bervixes. All their cities have been reduced to radioactive slag by some form of energy weapon, similar but not identical to the Ur-Quan's fusion blast. From evidence we have gathered here, we can conclude that this entire civilization was destroyed from orbit sometime in the last 8 to 12 Earth years. There are no survivors. What a bummer. So there may not be any survivors, but it sure seems like there are some more of these terrifying critters. And we just picked up chlorine, which is most assuredly not radioactive. So I'm assuming that all of these red dots are in fact going to be icky things that we don't want to pick up because they're not worth very much. However, this raw fuel that we're shooting here, I think is absolutely going to be worth our while. Not all of these things are super mobile. Killer bees, little splurting whatever those are. Come back. All I want is your resource value. Good, good, good. Just a few left here. Oh, we can drive through the cities now. That's going to make things a bit easy. Yes, iodine. That does not appear to be radioactive material. In fact, I believe iodine is one of the things that that people use to assist against radioactivity, so it's almost like we're being taunted. Rather curious, the similarity of colour of some of those things. Oh dear. God, I've done myself a mischief. Let's head back down there. Oh look, they're waiting for us. They just watched us sail down from orbit. So they could continue trying to devour us through our shields. Just a couple of little bits here left to go. Good times. Oh, getting a hit in there on us, which is not fun for any concerned. Okie dokie. Yes, we picked up some corrosives by the looks of it. To the bin with you. We don't need any of that. 170 biologicals hanging about there. So that's good fun. Let's just save the game. Seeing as we are an awful long way away, we've just burned a bunch more fuel doing all of that landing on the surface, but we're also stocking ourselves up. So in the long run, I think it's going to be good for us. Now, I don't believe we can open the portal spawner until we are in hyperspace. So let's zip our way out of the Arcturus system. And we'll have a quick look at the star map. Oh boy, well the Mycons certainly seem to have kind of had the snot kicked out of them. Maybe that's still ongoing. Maybe they're going to continue shrinking. I don't actually know. And we are an awful long way away from anywhere right now, aren't we? How do we get ourselves home, considering that I can't remember which thing on the quasi-space map we need to be looking for, which is super embarrassing. Is there a large star nearby or close enough nearby that we can use? Actually, no. Let's just bite the bullet here. And we're just going to have to deal with whatever happens. Open that portal. And here we have it. And what could possibly go wrong? I do believe, if I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure that we went down to this lower corner. Let's find out. How are we looking? Yay! Oh no, look, Earth is just outside of the range there. It's actually not too bad though. We're substantially closer, and it also means that we can get to Z-Man So all in all, I think that's a win. We're going to fly directly to the middle of Zux space. Zex. I'm getting Vux and Zex mixed up. Oh dear. Let's try that again. I was getting Zex and Vux mixed up. We should be able to avoid any of the things that we see here because I believe the Vux vessels are fairly slow. It's now July of 2158, so we are certainly threading the needle here for timing, but hey, you know, if it keeps things interesting, there's nothing quite like saving the galaxy in the barest nick of time. Alright, so into Zeman, which is right next to our quote-unquote home system, where we got this Precursor vessel way back at the beginning in the introductory cinematic, if you can remember that, all of 40-odd episodes ago. Hey, how's it going? I have plenty of things, but I'm also going to sell plenty more things. Give me all that. Another 340 credits, so we have 800. So let's stock up on that fuel. Give me all the fuel. Fill all my tanks. So from 14 to 210, good times. And we'll catch you later. Yay! Alright, back to the star map. The Mycon making their way back to where they were before, but they are substantially weakened. Perhaps that means the Siren already with us. I assume we'll find out when we get to Sol. So let's get a cracking with that. I'm sure the Starbase Commander has probably got a substantial amount of updates to give us because we are keeping busy and getting an awful lot done. Especially compared to the earlier stages of the campaign. So, back to Sol, sell some things, get some updates, buy some new ships, restock some crew, and possibly some fuel as well, and then make our way over to the Ilrath and try and send them off to do some embashionating of another mob, I believe are somewhat northwards of here, and we need them taken care of and out of the way so that we can easily obtain another one of these devices that we need in order to get some of the fancy equipment for the end of game. Hey, Starbase Commander. Welcome back, Captain Clapton. Thanks. By the way, I thought you should know. We have a major situation, Captain. As of a few days ago, all Sparthy starship captains have vanished from our starbase. Uh-oh. We do not know how or why, but until we receive replacements from Sparthiwa, it's odd, you'll be unable to commission any additional Sparthy eluder vessels for your fleet. Deary me. Also, this seems strange to me, and I considered not even bringing it up. But not long ago, 6 of my people fell unconscious simultaneously for no apparent reason. When they awoke hours later, they reported being overwhelmed by a feeling that something very wrong had taken place. The medtechs couldn't find anything wrong with these crew members, but they discovered one correlation. All 6 of them have exceptionally high ESPER ratings. Interesting. What is the analysis of my recent acquisitions? The analysis reads as follows. Subject, Sun device. Data, the unit contains a powerful generator whose output magnitude is simply mind-croggling. When activated, the device radiates energy equivalent to less than 1/100th of 1% of our Sun. However, when placed close to a planet, perhaps in orbit, its output would rival Sol's. Summary, another precursor tool, the energy output of which can replace or augment a Sun's radiance. Good times. The next entry in the analysis is subject rosy sphere device. Data, the specimen is 5 centimeters in diameter, perfectly smooth, and composed of a blood-red translucent substance. Tests show that it has atypical ferromagnetic properties, but is utterly non-conductive. Summary, probably a precursor tool, function unknown. The next entry in the analysis is subject hyperwave broadcaster unknown design. Data, this technology is new to us, and though a bit primitive by Alliance standards, it is capable of generating a very strong signal. Summary, should you wish to call someone in hyperspace or send a message through a mile of steel, this baby would do just fine. That's the end of our scientist's report. Good times. I have minerals to offload. The Dank's cargo manifest lists these, those, these. Yeah, good times. Catch you around, Commander. I will try to avoid getting gruesomely killed. Thank you for pointing that out. So I guess we are fairly nearby. I guess we can restock on that fuel just while we're here. And then to the shipyard we go. We should be able to recrew. So we're going to recrew all the things. First that one, we got tons of units. So let's recrew the Sparthy vessels because we can restock them. Even if we presumably can't purchase any more of them now. I'm also not seeing any sign of the Siren. I assume maybe we have to go back to Betelgeuse in order to finalise that thing. So let's get some Earthling cruisers. Yes, the Sparthy ships are indeed gone. So we'll get 3 of those. So we're kind of back to normal. And let's crew them up. This incredibly long, tedious process. Ugh. Good-o. Alright. And that means that we should be able to save the game. Any minute now. So fairly healthy looking fleet. We've got space for 3 more. We're not really going to do any of that right at this point. Not all that much choice for us really. We've only got the ores now left to build. So let's start heading out in this direction. We're going to open the star map up. The Sparthy essentially vanishing entirely from the map. That's kind of scary. But I believe we have to head over to the Ilrath, and I do seem to recall that even though the circle in space is over here, we did end up a very long time ago, all the way just north here, I believe. Somewhere around there was where we happened to stumble across their area of space. So once again, not exactly sure where the quasi-space portal is to get over into that region, but it is near enough, I guess, that we can just zip there the old-fashioned way, which, as per usual, requires me to do a little bit of talking as we continue our journey. Something coming in directly ahead of us there, moving too slowly by the looks of it to be a Slylandro. We are just skirting the edge of that Ilrath space there at the moment, so no doubt it is one of those slow cloaking vessels that spews fire. In a number of ways, it would be rather nice to have access to Ilrath vessels. I do recall in the first Star Control game, when you're able to play as the hierarchy, it was good fun piloting and piloting. God, goodness me, I'm not having a good time this episode. Piloting an Ilrath Avenger. Yeah, but look at them all floating around there. But of course, the cloaking requires you to then be able to infer or understand exactly where on the screen you are. And that was a bit of an acquired skill, so I'm just going to save the game over the same slot there because my recording clock is telling me that that's all the time we have for this part of the Let's Play. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thumbs up, subscribe, and please tell a friend if you think they might enjoy this. And come back again soon for more Star Control 2.